The following is a Just Green production brought to you by the Might Be News Network.
A principal with good principles. A mask that will tell you if you're sick. GameStop making the game stop. My name is Taylor Cooper, and this might be news to you. What's going on, everybody? It's the week of February 1st, 2021. I'm Taylor Cooper. This is Might Be News. With me, as always, co-host Jackie. What's up, Jackie?
Hello.
So, it's snowing here currently while we're recording. We're going to get to that in a minute. We're always sponsored by Eunomia CBD. Go to eunomiacbd.com. Use promo code MBN. Get 20% off, free shipping, and a free gift. Also, a reminder, make sure you check out mbnnetwork.com. It's never been easier for you to find your new favorite podcast. We have links to all the platforms that we're on. Everywhere. We got links to Patreon. Go to patreon.com/mbnnetwork. Sign up for $5 a month, man. It really means a lot to us. It helps us out a lot. Here in the next couple months, hopefully we are going to be getting back together in studio, doing a lot more things with the network and kind of getting back to normal moving forward. This year's been tough. We talked about it the past few episodes on numerous shows. I've been very vocal about it anyway, that it's been hard. It's been hard recording remote with everybody. It's been a challenge. We were very excited about where we were and where we were going with the network when the pandemic hit. We had just kind of assembled our studio and made it something that we were proud of and excited about. And, the pandemic really changed a lot of things for a lot of people.
It made us take, it feels like, several steps back.
Yes.
We were leaping and bounding forward, and then it feels like we got humbled real quick.
Real quick. And, that's a cool thing because, it made us take steps in the remote direction, and that's a cool backup plan moving forward when we do get back together. Because now we know it's possible. Right. And it's great for guests. It's just not fun when there's 2 people, 3 people all clamoring at the same time. Yeah. Because we can't read each other and have the same kind of chemistry that we all have when we're in the studio together. So it's been challenging, and it hasn't been as fun. But I don't have any breaks on the horizon. We've kind of gotten to a place with the podcast where I feel comfortable moving forward. We have what we want technologically. We have a nice studio space now, all set up and ready to rock and roll when we do get back together. But, that's just a long way of saying that we have a lot of things in store for the Might Be News Network. Now, this show is coming out on Monday, February 1st. It's fine. It's February, which is crazy. The year's already moving fast.
Febter Day.
So I have I've been talking a lot about QAnon and stuff recently, and I want to kind of get away from it because I feel like it is becoming prominent in the mainstream media. Like John from Brews texted me the other day saying they were talking about it on Good Morning America, and that's really awesome. And I feel like I've kind of done my job as far as alerting our audience to it and kind of talking about how crazy it is. But that being said, I have mentioned on this podcast quite a few times the QAnon Anonymous podcast. I have a interview scheduled with Travis View from that show. And so I'm going to talk with him about it, and that's going to kind of more or less be the cap of my QAnon coverage. All right? That's going to be the big one that I'm going to get, and I'm still going to follow it, but I feel like a lot of people turn to our network because we stay away from all that shit. Yeah. I just feel as though it's our responsibility, my responsibility, whatever, to bring that also to the table. So I'm working on it. I'm thinking about it, but I'm trying to put together another show, probably on the network, that is separate from this, that I could dive into it. I know that me and Carl Pinnell have had a lot of fun talking about it, and it's not something that's going to go away, but I want to kind of continue on with this show and as what it's supposed to be, which is supposed to be a news show about just kind of quirky, fun news.
Things that basically you might not have heard because it's not covered by mainstream media.
Right. And now that mainstream media is covering QAnon,
We can move on.
we can move on.
Let's find the next thing to bust up.
Right. So, but first things first, we usually record the show on Friday. We're recording it on Sunday for whatever reason.
Because we can.
Because we can. And as we're recording here, it's the beginning of a massive snowstorm, apparently, that I really had no idea the severity of this thing until just last night. And, yeah, so it got me thinking about snow days. What do we like to do on snow days? Like, is there something, Jackie, that you can remember as a child or even as an adult, whatever? Like, what's your favorite thing about
Sledding.
snow days? Sledding.
There was the best hill near my parents' house. And the guy that lived there, he was like an older guy. I'm pretty sure he lived alone. He gave out really cool things for Halloween, like when we went trick-or-treating. Like you made sure, there were certain houses you always made sure you go to, right? His was one of those houses. And he always let the kids go sledding down his backyard because it's a pretty steep. You've passed it. Like, I'm pretty sure I've pointed out, like, we used to go sledding down this hill, like, right as you're coming up Byers Road. If you're, if you were like leave work, not that you understand. I'm talking to Taylor because he can see me.
Yes.
You go down to the bottom to where Byers Road is and you make the right. And then right before you go up that big hill, off to the right-hand side, there's that property there. It's got a new house because that house burnt down apparently. But that's the hill we used to go sledding at.
Okay.
And one time, my sled didn't stop, and there's like a little creek through there, and I landed in the creek.
Oh, shit.
I just kept going. I was like, what? I don't even know what I did differently,
There's something like really fun and exhilarating about wiping out in the snow, though. Like, you don't get hurt, really. Like, you can get hurt.
Yeah.
But, like,
Well, we all
it's
piled
fun.
on like Eric's back one time, and he got really mad because I think it hurt him. But we were also in like an inner tube. It was ginormous. I've gone sledding in kayaks. I've done a lot of really weird things with sledding and a lot of really fun things. But probably one of my most favorite things is going back in and putting all your stuff. Like, we always put our stuff in the powder room and close the door because that's where all the heat really accumulates in my parents' house. So your stuff would dry faster so you could go back out. But I used to love sitting in front of like a little space heater and just trying to get as close as I could without burning myself. Those are the things I remember.
Yeah.
So what about you?
I remember the thing that sticks out in my mind before I moved to Pennsylvania, when I was still living in Virginia. You guys up here in PA are used to nice white winters for the most part, certainly back then. But down in Virginia, we didn't really get much until the blizzard of '96, which it felt like we were out of school forever because our state just shut down. Like, we just didn't have nobody knew what to do with that much snow. I don't remember how much we got, but as a kid growing up, not even knowing what snow really was all about, it felt like a ton. And, that was like really my first like sledding experience like that I can remember. But when I moved up to Pennsylvania, the street that we lived on was a huge hill. The street itself was a hill, and it went into a cul-de-sac. And at one snowstorm, I don't remember what year it was, but it snowed for a while, then it was ice, then it was snow again, then it rained, then it snowed again. And like, so our street,
Just like layers.
and our street was like still under construction as well. Like they were still building houses on the street.
Okay.
So it was like one of the last streets to be like serviced. Like the plows like didn't come. We had to call people.
Was this one of the houses you showed me when we went to Virginia?
No, this is up in PA now.
Oh, this was your PA. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. It's okay.
Okay.
So we would go sledding down our street instead, not in grass. Right?
Now, where does that end out? Like, does it
Into
go
a
into a
cul-de-sac,
curb?
into a fence. You basically,
I was like, is there trees? Is there fences?
we made a ramp trying to jump the fence, and a couple of us did. I was unsuccessful every time. I just slammed into the fence until I didn't break the fence, but somebody did. And
Are you not naming names?
no, I'm not naming names.
Is it anybody associated with this network?
No, it's not.
Okay.
But like it was really fun. I had a surfboard. My dad like gave me a surfboard. I never surfed a day in my life. Like he just left it, at our house, and I just took it with us when we moved. I had this fucking surfboard, and I used that as a sled, and it went super fast. So,
the good news is you didn't die.
No, I didn't die. But it was fun.
I was going to ask what happened to the surfboard. Did you like break it? Or?
No, I just trashed it sledding on gravel. Like that's what we were doing.
You're like, if I'm not going to use it in the water, I might as well use it for something, right?
Just being stupid, and like I definitely could have gotten seriously injured slamming into that fence like that. But it was a good time. Yeah. But I don't know. Definitely looking like a snow day on a Monday. So hopefully people are listening to this kind of just chilling at home, and it's not too bad for people out there. But all right, let's go. Let's do some good news.
Hey, did you hear the news?
This better be good. You want the good news or the bad news?
Give me the good stuff.
All right, so this week on Good News, a principal with good principal. Jackie, you actually shared this story with me.
Yes, I did.
This is North Charleston, South Carolina. Moved by a need to help his students, a South Carolina high school principal took on a part-time job at Walmart and donated his paycheck to those in need. Henry Darby, a principal at North Charleston High School, is considered by his community a guardian angel. Understanding that there was a bigger picture with hunger and need at his school, Darby took action. He started working at Walmart 3 nights a week, stocking shelves from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. Quote, I was taught if your hands find something to do, do it. So I came to myself and said, perhaps I need another job in terms of part-time. He said one of his students recognized him on his very first night of work, and he just decided that he needed to keep doing it. His decision to stand and deliver has led to close to $100,000 in donations from all over the country. Now that Darby's story has gone viral, Walmart has donated $50,000 to North Charleston High School. This all started because he saw a couple of his students sleeping under a bridge. Like there's severe poverty, I guess, in the area that he's from. So he took it upon himself to do that.
Heart of gold, man.
Really, really cool stuff. I mean, that's a lot. 3 nights a week, but that's still a long shift. That's overnighters.
Well, yeah, because he's probably doing things during the day. I mean, he's a principal, and I know that typically schools aren't open, but there's still responsibilities and things that principals have to do. So,
exactly.
Like, that just sounds so tiring.
Yeah. Very cool thing. Very, very cool thing. The next story I have, Smoking Hope. Jonathan Jones taught himself to barbecue and is now feeding his community. When he looks at the needs of his Phoenix, Arizona community, Jonathan Jones is sure of one thing. He may not be able to feed everyone, but he'll do what he can to fight against food insecurity. And he'll do it with delicious barbecue. Jones describes himself as a self-taught backyard barbecuer who, quote, burnt up a lot of meat before he mastered his passion. Quote, I've always been infatuated with barbecuing since family cookouts growing up, where my uncles and my dad would always cook, he says. I spent 4 or 5 years just barbecuing and learning and reading books. I followed the different pit masters on Instagram and social media platforms, and it was really just a trial and error. Let's see here. Though he didn't know at the time, Jones was grooming himself for Smoking Hope, a nonprofit organization born of his desire to feed people experiencing food insecurity in his area. After throwing a party at his home in 2018 and being struck with the idea to give the leftover barbecue to those in need, a movement had started. Quote, even if it was just me doing it, it would be a way I could spread some positivity, he said. There was a lot of chaos going on. I can't remember what I specifically was doing, but there was just another thing in the media that was another negative big story, and I decided to cook for people, he said. For his 2018 Cook, a term Jones gave to barbecuing and taking his food out into the community, Jones hoped to find 30 to 40 people to feed. Instead, he fed nearly 100 people.
Damn.
It's very cool stuff. In 2018, Jones turned Smoking Hope into a nonprofit and has since received monetary donations through a GoFundMe page and in financial support from businesses like W.C. Bradley Company, which owns Oklahoma Joe's Smokers. With the funding he's received and the help of his staff and volunteers, Jones has been able to feed over 1,000 people with quarterly cooks throughout the downtown Phoenix area. In some of the communities he serves, Jones is known as the Rib Man, and others, people immediately recognize his Jeep and know delicious food is on the way.
That's really amazing.
Very cool stuff. One more good news story here, which is just kind of a cool story anyway. So apparently engineers design a new face mask with test strips to help detect COVID, much like a pregnancy test. Similar to a classic pregnancy test, a color-changing strip may, in the future, be mounted on face masks to detect the presence of COVID-19 in the air you breathe that day, allowing everyone to self-monitor the environments they pass through. The project was launched by nano engineers at UC San Diego with $1.3 million grant from the NIH's Rapid Acceleration of Diagnostics Radical Program. Jesus.
That's a mouthful.
No wonder scientists are so smart.
Right?
They got to pronounce all these crazy things. The scientists created a small test kit to attach to the front of any mask, which can be mass-produced at a cost of about 3 cents per kit. After breathing through the mask for 4 to 5 hours, enough particles would be available to determine if you came in contact with the virus throughout the duration, or indeed if you perhaps have contracted it. Quote, in many ways, masks are the perfect wearable sensor for our current world, said Jesse Jokerst, a professor of nanoengineering at California University and project lead. Quote, we're taking that many people are already wearing and repurposing them so we can quickly and easily identify new infections and protect valuable communities. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
One thing that this virus has done is kind of, move things in a more, it's kind of jump-started a lot of innovating ideas, like streaming platforms are making a fucking killing right now. Live streaming platforms are making a killing right now. Internet shopping.
Oh, God, yeah.
Restaurants and bars and breweries and things are figuring out, curbside pickup options, better curbside pickup options, delivery options that they didn't, do before. And it's very interesting to see the way that some industries are affected by this, how some industries flourish and how some industries are being decimated by it. But one thing that really is happening is innovative ideas are happening out of this desperarity that we're all facing. All right, so one thing that happened in the news this past week that I'll be honest, I don't know anything about. I've been seeing GameStop all over the place. People talking about GameStop and the stock market, and I don't know a fucking thing about the stock market. 0%.
Me neither.
John was just over here the other day. We were talking about it, and he's very interested in this whole thing and seems to know a lot more about it than I do, and I wish he was on to kind of talk to us about it. But I found an a article. Listen, people, I've said it before. I'm going to say it again, and I'll say it more times after this. Download the AP News app on your phone. It is a fantastic, fantastic resource for information, for news. They have this thing, if you go into topics, they have explainer articles. So this is what this is. Explainer.
Okay.
Why GameStop, why... God damn it. Why GameStop's stock surge is shaking Wall Street. Jesus Christ.
Now
Jackie.
say it at least 3 times fast.
Read that. Do it as fast as you can. Read that title as fast as you can. Let's do it.
I'll
do
try
it.
but please don't make me laugh.
I'm not even going to look at you.
Why GameStop stock surge is shaking Wall Street? Why GameStop's stock surge is shaking Wall Street? Stock it.
Stocks. Why GameStop stock surge is shaking Wall Street.
Susie sells seashells down by the seashore.
All right, so they do these explainer articles about crazy things that are happening around us that you probably don't understand and wish that you did. They put it in a context that hopefully makes it easier for you to get. I read through this a little bit, and I get it a little bit more. But I will tell you, flat out right away that I am completely uneducated in this, and I feel kind of silly talking about it on this show. However, it's basically the biggest story that's been going on this week besides any other political shit that we don't feel like talking about today.
Yeah.
So it's not just you. What's going on with GameStop stock doesn't make sense to a lot of people. The struggling video game retailer stock has been making stupefying moves this month, wild enough to raise concerns from professional investors on Wall Street to the hallways of regulators and the White House in Washington. The frenzy hit new heights this past week when several trading platforms limited their customers from making certain trades with GameStop. It's all forcing hard questions about whether the stock market is in a dangerous bubble and whether a new generation of traders should be allowed to take full advantage of all the tools and free trades available on their phones, regardless of how reckless they may seem to outsiders. At the same time, champions of the 99% are cheering louder from the sidelines, saying that the moves meant that hedge funds, Wall Street, and the 1% are finally getting their due. Here's a look at how we got here. Question is, what is happening with GameStop's stock? They say here it's been maniacal this month. After sitting around $18 3 Fridays ago, it doubled in 4 days. It kept shooting higher before nearly doubling on Tuesday, when more than doubling again on Wednesday to $347.51 per share. On Thursday, it gave back a chunk of those gains and finished the day at $193.66, down 44%, but it's still up an amazing 928% through the first few weeks of 2021. So, pause. I'm not reading the article anymore. Basically, what I get from that is what's outrageous about this is that GameStop is a struggling company in the pandemic. Mm-hmm. Nobody's going there to shop because
online.
They're only allowed to have probably like a couple people in there because most GameStops that I know of are tiny, right? So nobody wants to go there. Also, I don't understand why people are trying to save this business. They've been ripping you off for years. As an avid gamer, you can't tell me that you've left GameStop multiple times feeling extremely fucking ripped off. Like you bought or sold something there and you're just like, holy shit. Anyway. And the company itself is still struggling, it says. GameStop, based in Grapevine, Texas, sells video games at more than 5,000 stores, and the pandemic has been keeping customers away. More worrisome is the long-term shift by customers away from the brick-and-mortar stores and going towards buying games online. Enthusiasm has grown for GameStop's prospects after the company said earlier this month that the co-founder of Chewy, the online seller of pet supplies, was joining its board. Investors see Ryan Cohen helping GameStop's digital transformation, but analysts still expect GameStop's to keep losing money in its next fiscal year. The question on the article says, Reddit is involved, right? It says, yes, particularly those in a group called Wall Street Bets. Their discussions are full of ideas for the next big trade to jump on. Self-deprecation and an appreciation for both winning and losing bets as long as they're bold. They've recently seen encouraging each other to keep buying GameStop and push it even higher to the moon, they say. So what is a short? It says, how investors can be making money off a stock falling in a short sale. They borrow a share of GameStop and then sell it. Later in the stock price does as they expect. They can buy the stock at a lower price and keep the difference. GameStop is one of the most heavily shorted stocks on Wall Street. This just goes on and on and on and on and on. Basically, people are outraged because this Reddit thing, this Reddit board was basically telling people to buy stocks of GameStop. And they were trying to basically break the system. Is essentially what was happening. Yeah. And hedge fund managers and people in Wall Street and heavily involved in the whole deal put a stop to it. And a lot of these apps that people are using on their phones and things, Robinhood and a couple other ones, were limiting people from joining in on this whole thing, which is kind of, not kind of, it's a breach of trust. You're not.
Yeah.
The whole thing is messy because what's happening on the internet, everybody saying, hey, go buy GameStop, is essentially a mass insider trading issue, right? Like everybody's communicating on the thing.
Yeah.
But what I was asking John, and what I would ask him sitting here at the table if he was here, is what's the difference between doing that and if I were to go and buy a stock today, me posting on Twitter saying, hey, I just bought stock in Apple, or I just bought stock in this. Like, what's the difference? Am I not supposed to talk about it? I don't know anything about the stock. So I wanted to bring it up because I wanted to try and at least give people, point them in a direction to go find this AP article if you really want to find out more about it. It's making my head hurt thinking about it because I just don't understand.
Also, go watch The Big Short.
Yeah. The Big Short is a good movie.
It's a good movie, and it explains things I still don't understand. But I also think it's because we watch the movie every once in a while, and then I don't get involved in stocks. So I go about my business, and then, how does the stock market work? Let me go watch The Big Short. And then again, it's just this endless cycle of me caring and then not caring.
Right. Right.
Like, it is what it is.
So, like, I've always, like, been interested in it, but I've never ever like had the smarts to figure it all out. Like I see like the NASDAQ readings and shit during the week, and the Dow Jones is up or down, or I just look at it. I'm like, oh, it's down. That's not good. Oh, it's up. That's good.
Yeah.
I don't fucking beyond that. I'm just like, yeah, whatever.
Like, sure.
So, and I just was like seeing people, like a lot of people were talking about it this week, and I just didn't, like always, I didn't really take enough interest in it to figure out what the fuck it was. So, all right, let's do, what's the point?
What's the point? Is there a point to this? What is your point?
Are you just gonna sit there and look stupid?
All right, so my point this week, I'll start off with WandaVision, the new Marvel Cinematic Universe show on Disney Plus.
Yes.
So last Friday was the 4th episode of the first season.
Mm-hmm.
And
Shit's finally getting real.
it's picking up a bit. So for those of you not familiar with the show, it's basically the first couple episodes. It's Wanda, who is
Scarlet
Witch, and Vision, and they're kind of in like a
1950s,
I Love Lucy kind of
sitcom
vibe. And you're just kind of like, okay, this was
This
cool.
is cute
Right.
and funny. It
was funny. It was funny. Yep. And I'm just like, okay, but like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And second episode, same thing. Third episode, it finally gets some
I
color.
you get a little bit, like little weird things are happening. So you're like, you know, something's gonna,
you know
it's
that
building
something's gonna
towards
happen.
something.
Right. Just it was a very slow build for 3 episodes, and the 3 episodes kind of took you into different kind of eras in sitcoms, and which was cool. I liked it. Me personally, if you've listened to the show long enough, and if you know me as a person, you know that I pick things that I don't like about certain things, and I hold on to them very hard. One thing that I hold on very hard to in a negative way about this show is that they are 27-minute episodes, and 7 minutes of those episodes are end credits. One line at a time for 7 minutes.
And there's no hidden, it's Marvel. So the first time we were like, maybe there's a hidden scene or, a scene that we need to watch for next week or something.
Right.
And then we just started fast forwarding. We're like, are you fucking kidding me?
I know somebody from Disney's listening. And
For a fact.
I want them to know that this is inexcusable to me.
Yeah.
It's a complete fucking waste of time. It's a waste of their money.
Most people aren't even going to watch the credits.
0% chance that people are going to watch them unless they were like us that thought that if you watched it, there was going to be some stupid hidden scene.
But we started fast forwarding.
Learned from that mistake.
Yeah. So now we just fast forward.
So, very cool show. Get your fucking shit together on the end credits.
Yeah, WandaVision.
Understand that nobody cares. Nobody If you ask anyone under the sun if they wanted 7 more minutes of the show or 7 minutes of
End credits,
guaranteed there would not be a single person except for some stupid person buried in those end credits that would say they want end credits.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. Episode 4 is picking up in a big way. I'm very excited to see where the show is going.
It was exciting because they brought in characters from other Marvel movies.
Correct.
That ordinarily maybe wouldn't come face to face with each other. So it was really interesting to see. There's a bit of mayhem in the beginning too.
Yes.
And you feel it. Like I like that. Yeah, it kind of felt like we were involved in it. You know what I mean? So that's
I'm very excited to see where the show goes. I like what they're doing. I'm generally happy to have Marvel back in my life, new Marvel stuff, because we've seen all the movies 1,000 times now. So new content is always good. And I've read some articles online about kind of foreshadowing where this is going. I'm not very familiar with the Vision or the Scarlet Witch in the comics, so I just kind of looked ahead at some of the things that other people are saying.
We just take it for what it's worth.
Well, it's leading into one of these new movies that they're going to be making.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if it's going to be, it looks like I think it's going to be leading into the new Doctor Strange movie, is from what what people are speculating.
I'm excited for the new Thor movie.
I'm very excited for
Chris Hemsworth, sign me up.
Sign me up. Sign me up as well.
Thor, sign me up.
He's the best Avenger.
Yes.
He just is. He's the funniest.
He's the best looking.
Yep.
He's the funniest.
Yep. He's the strongest.
He's the strongest.
He's got
Is
the
he
coolest
strongest?
weapon. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm like, I don't know.
I think so.
I don't know. How do you rate strength on a
He beat
fictional
Hulk.
character?
He beat Hulk in Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Uh,
Even though Hulk disputes that.
He would trash Iron Man. Like, he would trash Captain America, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, Thor's the best. What's your point?
Okay, so we got rid of cable.
Mm-hmm.
We had Hulu Live. We decided to stop paying that nonsense. We barely were using it. So we said, let's really look at our finances and what can we trim. So we went with regular streaming Hulu. And then we were like, shit, how are we going to watch the Super Bowl? And we hadn't put much thought into it because we're like, oh, we got a little bit of time. But that time's quickly running out. And I'm a partial insomniac. So at 3 o'clock in the morning, when I'm awake and trying to fall back asleep, I'm like, well, let me do something productive. And I literally Googled, how do I watch the Super Bowl if I don't have cable or something to that effect?
We've been struggling with live sports hard.
Yeah, hard. We're missing live sports. So I saw something, it mentioned CBS Sports app. So I had downloaded on my phone, and then I was like, I really don't have time to be doing all this shit. I do want to try to fall back asleep. It just ended up being that Taylor was home, and I was like, I called him, and I was like, wait, while you're home, I need you to research this today, and see if this will work or not, because I'm really praying to God we don't need to plug in a cable provider. You know, because that's how they get you. Like, oh, you can do this, and then you have to plug in your cable provider. If I had cable, I wouldn't need to use your stupid little app, assholes.
Yeah.
And everybody, stop with the streaming shit. Everything doesn't need its own streaming, okay?
So for us, it's like we got rid of Hulu Live, like you said.
Yeah.
And then what happens is, because we still live in the Philadelphia area, they black out all of our sports, all of our favorite teams, which basically makes it to where you have two options. You either get cable or a live TV streaming platform thing like Hulu Live, or you do this illegally. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's cool that CBS Sports made the Super Bowl
You can
available.
watch it. It will not cost us anything. It's going to be free to us.
I was talking about this the other night. I know that somebody from the NFL's watching or listening to this. If you were to fucking charge people per game, you would make a killing. In other words, forget blackouts, forget all that, forget da-da-da-da-da. You download the NFL app on your TV or whatever, and you would scroll through every Sunday. Oh, I want to watch the 49ers and the fucking Rams play.
Pick
so
it like a buffet.
$4,
This and this.
$5. whatever it would be. You know what I'm saying? If you had everybody in America doing that shit, they'd make a fucking killing. And they wouldn't even have to worry about CBS or have to worry about this or that or NBC and da-da-da. Like, I would pay for that. I'd pay per game if I had to.
Well, not only that, but if they could sit there and be like, pay X amount of dollars for this amount of games, almost feel like a bargain so that you're not paying a flat rate per game. They can almost make it seem more appetizing.
$100 for the season, all the Eagles games. Or whatever.
Yeah,
you know
whatever,
what I mean? Because that's what we ended up doing.
And they can't charge probably much more than that when you think about it. Because you're like, I'm not physically there experiencing the game in person.
Well, and I'll talk about what we did for the Sixers.
Yeah.
We're not satisfied with what we did, but it's better than what we had.
True.
So we tried to sign up. The Eagle season's over,
Trash.
So football was kind of like whatever. So moving on, it's like, all right, well, the Sixers still play like 3 nights a week, 4 nights a week, and we're missing all of that. So what do? I'm looking. And unless I do something illegal or use some, link that somebody sends me, which is great, I'm trying to figure out a way to, like, legally, I'm putting up quotes, do this. So we ended up signing up for a VPN service. Basically what the VPN service does is it makes it to where it masks where you're located. The reason we had to do this was because we signed up for NBA League Pass for the one-team deal, which wasn't cheap.
Nope.
We selected the Sixers, so we are able to watch Sixers games. What we didn't realize the full scope of at the time was how many games that are still fucking unavailable through this app. Any game that's on ESPN, you can't watch. Any game that's on ABC, like basically regular channels, you can't watch.
Yeah.
Which is trash. But they also were just like, if you live in Philly, you can't do that, which is why we did the VPN.
Why you have to get the VPN. So
they think I'm watching the Sixers from Phoenix.
Right. Like our home team would be the Phoenix Suns. And
which is legal, by the way. They do it to cover for hackers and shit, but I'm just using it to fool.
We want to watch our team.
I want to watch the Sixers. God damn it.
And stop blacking out. Stop putting games on ESPN. Stop putting games on ABC. Put them on whatever they need to be in so everybody can
We couldn't
watch
watch the Flyers last night on ESPN because they knew that we were in Philly, and there was nothing I could do about it. I was trying to go around that, but there was nothing I could do about it.
And that's
it's just
so
stupid. So stupid. Because, like, all we're trying to do is save some money.
Yeah.
Like, we're
not trying to cheat this. Just let us watch our teams.
Right.
Like, okay, cable's expensive, so we found us something else, and then you still want to make it so we can't watch games. That's fucking bullshit.
Especially because we're at home.
Especially because we're at home, and because we paid a bunch of money to NBA League Pass.
Right. So if you guys if you're out there and you're just like, oh, dude, you're stupid, this would work a lot better for you. Hit me up and tell me.
Yeah.
Like, for real, please. I'm begging you. If it's illegal, I guess we'll talk. We'll talk further
about it.
But, like, I'd prefer, like, a whatever. If I got to pay something, we'll pay something as long as it's not crazy expensive. But
yeah, because we already shelled out money. So
it's stupid. We signed up for the League Pass thing, and then the first Sixers game we could watch was on ESPN. I was fucking heated. I was so mad.
It's like every other game is
So
on a
mad.
channel we can't see.
It's just silly.
And what's the point of having ESPN Plus if they're not going to let you watch any NBA games?
It's like...
Was it college?
So the
right?
NBA...
They show college sports?
They
Nobody
show
cares.
college sports. They show NHL games. But on regular ESPN, they'll show the NBA stuff, but you need a TV provider, which is fucking dumb.
My TV provider is NBA League Pass, you assholes. That's now my provider.
Right.
Why am I paying them money and you're still not going to show me my shit? Like, I'm getting real bitter about it. I liked us to get the most bang for our buck, so we did something and it's not working.
Jackie and I, we do not argue. We don't even really have negative conversations for the most part.
No.
Like, most of our interactions and conversations are generally upbeat. And even like
we do talk about some hard-hitting stuff,
we
but we don't fight about it. We literally have adult conversations.
Right. But when it came to how do we watch the Sixers, we had some negative conversations. Like, we walked away from them just frustrated. Not with each other.
Not with each other.
Just at the
situation.
And it's just like, how can we figure this out to work for both of us and to still get what we want out of it?
Yeah.
And all the options that we're looking at just look so stupid, and it's just like I can't figure this out, and it's the dumbest thing.
Yeah.
Because you can literally choose what to watch anytime you want. Anytime you want. If we turn on our TV right now and we're just like, I have a specific movie that in mind that I want to watch, I type it in on there. If it's not on any of the apps that we currently have that we can watch it for free, it will generally give me an option to rent it for a couple bucks.
Yeah.
I cannot type in the Philadelphia 76ers up there
Right.
when they are playing and then give me an option to watch them for a couple bucks. And I think that's fucking stupid. And I think whoever is out there trying to figure this shit out, I know you're listening. Figure it out a little faster for me. Okay. All right. Let's do a late review.
I know it's a little late, but
You're just hearing about this?
can't believe I'm just hearing. Why didn't I know about this sooner?
Try again.
All right. I'll start off again. I've been recently, I'm a gamer. I like playing video games. It takes me away from the dumb things that I do on the internet, kind of, relaxes me after work and
Keeps him off QAnon site.
exactly. So, I've been playing recently. I played the newest Assassin's Creed game, the Assassin's Creed Valhalla. The Viking one that they came out with. I'm a big fan of Assassin's Creed. I've been playing it since the beginning, like the first one that came out all the way back on the first Xbox and shit. And every game they put out, I feel like is a really well done and great looking game. And the games kind of started off on a very slow, like stealthy note. Like there wasn't, you kind of had to creep around a lot more than you do in the most recent games. But Valhalla is the most recent one. I've played the most 3 recent games now, and I wanted to talk about them a little bit. Right now, I'm currently playing Origins, which came out a couple years ago. This one was the one that takes place in Egypt. Then the following one was Odyssey, which takes place in Greece, and now you have Valhalla. This is like the 3; they kind of go together. Valhalla was good. I feel like there's still more happening with the game. There's going to be 2 DLCs that come out with it this year, which I'm looking forward to. One is like you go to Ireland, I think. The other one is like you go to Paris. The whole main game takes place in England. It's a very cool game, pretty dark, very bloody, dope. It's like I feel like there's not a lot of stealth in this game though, so that was kind of a change up. I give Valhalla an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
I liked it. I feel like there wasn't a lot to do in it besides like the main story. Like there wasn't other Assassin's Creed games, which I'll talk about these other ones, like Odyssey and Origins, specifically Odyssey, the one in Greece. There's like side quests everywhere. There's so much to do in that game. You saw me. I spent hundreds of hours on that game, and I'm not even done it. Like
Neglecting your wife and pets.
I spent hundreds of hours on that game, and I'm still not finished.
Yep.
Like the DLCs and like the
Honestly,
different
I
things.
never know which game you're playing.
Yeah, they all blend together.
They
for me,
all
but
blend
I've been
together.
playing Assassin's Creed a lot recently. I even went back and played like one of the older ones just because I couldn't remember how much I liked it.
I just know right now you're playing one where there's cats that find you and
Yes,
follow
there's
you
cats
around.
that find you and follow you in the Origins one, the one in Africa.
I like that.
I give Valhalla an 8. I give Odyssey. Odyssey is probably the best Assassin's Creed game I've ever played. It's a 10 and 10. 10 out of 10. It's an instant classic. Origins, which I'm playing right now, and I feel like I'm getting close to the end. I give it a 9. It's very, very good. But if you're into Assassin's Creed and or looking for a cool video game to play in these stupid times, I highly recommend Assassin's Creed games because there's just a shit ton of stuff to do. And also, it's like single player, so like it's kind of a nice break from like multiplayer games.
Don't have to rely
where
on
you're
no one
fucking
else.
doing-
How many times did you get angry because your team just fucking sucked?
sucks, or like we're watching a movie, so I don't want to use the microphone. I don't,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, I like multiplayer games, but sometimes it's nice to just take a break and just follow a story.
Yeah.
You know, and Assassin's Creed games always have like a really cool story, and these 3 games that go together If you have the opportunity to do them in order, I would do Origins, then Odyssey, and then Valhalla if you have the opportunity to do that. I got Origins cheap on the PlayStation Store. I got it for like $11, I think it was. It was like 80% off. I don't know how long that deal's going, but check it out. I got Odyssey a long time, like a while ago, closer to when it came out, and I fucking love that game. Like, there's like a ton of shit to do in that game, and all of it's pretty fun, and you fucking just straight destroy people in that game. It's very cool. So that's my review. What's your review?
We recently, well, not really, we just continuously watch new movies all the time right now. But we watched one that was from 2019 called Don't Let Go. I believe it's on HBO Max. That's
Correct.
how we watched it.
Yep.
The synopsis here. After a man's family dies in what appears to be a murder, he gets a phone call from one of the dead, his niece. He's not sure if she's a ghost or if he's going mad, but as it turns out, he's not. So, if you've ever seen the movie Frequency, it reminds me of that, but
Yeah.
it's just a different story.
Bloodier.
Well, this is rated R.
Yeah.
I don't remember what Frequency was
I think it was
labeled.
PG-13.
And the thing with Frequency is like they were spanning over decades.
Right.
And this is within
Couple
days.
weeks. Yeah, it's like a couple weeks,
Yeah,
right?
a couple weeks. Yeah, I think it's about 2
2 weeks.
maybe 3 weeks difference.
He just like they had the funeral for them, and then like
Yeah.
it was like a little while later that he got the phone call.
Yeah, he got a phone call and he's like,
What's the name of the guy in it? He has a harder to pronounce name, doesn't
yeah. So David
Dewambe? Is that what it is?
Oloyo.
Oh.
I don't know how to say
Let me
it. It begins with an O.
David Oyelowo. David Oyelowo?
Oloyo?
He's awesome.
He's really good.
He played Martin Luther
in
King
Yeah, he played in Selma.
Yeah.
He's done quite a bit of things. It also has Storm Reed, who plays the niece. She
great.
played Meg in A Wrinkle in Time. She plays, if you watch Euphoria on HBO, she plays Gia, which is
younger sister.
yes, Zendaya's younger sister.
Yep. That's right. Yeah.
She's really great. A couple other people you'd probably recognize if you watched the show or watching, because I think is Atlanta still
Yeah, it's
on?
still a thing. Yep.
Okay. So I don't know the
Paperboy?
guy's name. Paperboy. Brian Tyree Henry is
He's
his
awesome.
name in real life.
He's great.
And he's been in tons of things, but now because I watched like a season of Atlanta and I'm like, Paperboy.
Yeah.
That's Paperboy.
Yeah. He was in that Black Mirror episode too, wasn't he? With the drones, wasn't he?
I don't remember the
thinking
one with the
something
drones.
The bee one, the one with the bees. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, he played in.
He's been in a bunch of shit. It doesn't matter.
He's been in a bunch of shit.
He's really good.
I don't know if he was in. I think you're thinking of somebody else.
I might
to
be
be
thinking of
honest.
something else. Anyway, back to the movie.
He was in Super Intelligence. Maybe
That's what it
you're
was.
thinking
That's
of.
what it was.
The
I'm
movie
sorry.
with Melissa
Yes,
McCarthy,
yes.
which we were cracking up at.
That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
But it was really good. I'd probably rate it. I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, it's going.
It's good.
That's good.
Stuff like that always freaks out my mind because I'm like, how is this possible? And then you just accept the fact that it's not really possible. It's just something to be a little sci-fi kind of thriller. You know,
It was a cool story.
it was a cool story.
They did it good. Like it was came down to the end. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Well, yeah, and they're just like working together to like solve this case to see if they can prevent the murders from happening.
right.
You know, I don't want to ruin it. I know it's, already about 2 years old at this point, but I had never even heard of it
Right.
until we saw the trailer.
Yeah, I think they just
So-
put it on HBO because it's on
Yeah.
the just added list.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It might be kind
I
of
would recommend it.
Yeah.
I'm
I would
giving it
recommend
an
too.
8 out of 10.
It's good.
It's good.
It's good.
Maybe next time we'll do the new Denzel movie because I want to watch it again. There's so many people
Yes.
who say, I went back and rewatched it, and I picked up on so many things. So
Yeah,
we have an agreement that when the time comes and we do go to watch it again, the phones will not be near us. Taylor will not be playing a video game, and we just focus on the movie.
On the movie. On the
Because
little
I'm
things.
so, yes, we got to focus on the little things because I'm really bad. Like, I will just pick up my phone, be like, oh, who's this actor? And I just go down this wormhole of information.
IMDb.
Yeah, IMDb, man. It's a trap.
It's a trap.
Great, but my God, it's a trap.
That's your trap. Jackie, do you have anything else to add?
No, might do a little painting today. Might do some baking today. I don't know.
Ooh.
Especially because, well, it's not really coming down hard right now. But if we end up having a snow day tomorrow,
It's coming down.
we want some snacks.
Yeah.
We want some artwork to look at.
That's true on both accounts. We're out of here. Everybody be safe. If you're in the Northeast, be safe of the snow. Everywhere else, be safe of whatever
Hopefully, you
else
got
is-
your bread, milk, and eggs.
Yeah, get your shit. Get your shit together. We're always sponsored by Eunomia CBD. Get your CBD. Go to
Get it.
eunomiacbd.com. Use promo code MBN. Get 20% off, free shipping and a free gift. Stuff is fantastic, people. I can't stress it enough. It's so good. I literally cannot make it through the day properly without the gel caps.
Yeah.
That's what I've been using.
Well, and it's always changing for us because we try something else. So
Yeah,
it's
and
like,
it's always so good. Everything
Yeah.
we use is so fantastic from them. Shout out to them. Go to mbnnetwork.com. It's never been easier for you to find your new favorite podcast. We got a busy week here at the network. I'm hopefully interviewing Travis View, so you'll be hearing that here very shortly, next week at the earliest. But we have Might Be Sports on Wednesday. We've got Tunes on Friday. Stick with us, guys. We'll see you guys next time. Peace out, Jackie.
bye.